warm welcome to you. This is Ogtv News. Thanks so much for joining us. I am Bukola Agbakisu. Top stories of the news. Community leaders commend Governor Dapo Abiodun over reconstruction of Adodo Ikoga Road. Governor Bello Masari briefs President Buhari over Kankara attack, confirms contact with abductors. Federal government suspends issuance of licenses for the operation of free trade zones. United States of America launches largest vaccination campaign in our history. When you change the quality of your thinking, you change the quality of your life.
And tonight on this first segment of the news, Chelsea draw Atletico as Barcelona face PSG in Champions League round of 16. These and many more when I return later. Hakim Akitunde.
Thanks so much for joining us once again. Now the news in full. For better service delivery to the people of Ogun State and fulfillment of its mandates, the government of Ogun State has given brand new buses to Ogun State Television, Ogtv, Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, and the Judicial Service Commission. The Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, who presented the gifts to the beneficiaries, noted that the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, is concerned about the welfare of the civil servants. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports.
Thank you. I wish you Godspeed, and I wish everybody who rides in it journey mercies.
Thank you. That was the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, presenting the bus gift to the General Manager of Ogun State Television, Ogtv, Festus Kehinde. Others who were presented with the vehicles are Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Trade Union Congress, TUC, and Judicial Service Commission. The Deputy Governor said the current administration in Ogun State is fulfilling its promises to the people, as the vehicle will help the agencies of government and the labor union in fulfillment of its mandate to the people.
Since resumption in office, His Excellency has been very concerned about the welfare and the working conditions of civil servants, and he has gradually been going through their needs and requests and improving the requirements for our people. He recently approved the minimum wage in the state, and this has made a lot of people very happy and pleased with His Excellency's delivery to them. His Excellency is a man of his word and continues to deliver on his promises at all times, and we can continue to expect this from him.
The General Manager of Ogtv, Festus Kehinde, appreciated the current administration for the kind gesture to the broadcast station, describing the vehicle as a remarkable Christmas gift.
We thank His Excellency, President Abiodun, for giving it to Ghana. We know him as a media-friendly governor. He's not only a workers-friendly governor, but also a media-friendly governor. And he appreciated the fact that our staff have a privilege of this kind of work to convey us, to alleviate our transportation problem in the state. We are happy. On behalf of the board, management and staff of Ogtv, we are saying a big thank you to His Excellency for doing us this great favor.
On behalf of the labor unions, Comrade Emmanuel Bankole of the Nigeria Labour Congress said this will go a long way in fostering the relationship between the government and the labor force.
It's a welcome development from my government, and I think it will go a long way to foster our relationship. And on behalf of the workforce, we want to assure the governor and the government of Ogun State that we shall remain partners in progress. It's a good development. We can continue to assure him of our working relationship to ensure that the good people of Ogun State will be better for it.
They all assured the government of profitable and better service delivery to the people of the state. Tunde Olaniro, Ogtv News.
The people of Ikoga Adodo have appreciated Governor Abiodun's construction of the Ikoga to Adodo Road in his ongoing developmental strides across the state. The delegation, Oba Latif Akoni, the Olofin Adimola of Adodo, was received by the Deputy Governor, Engineer Oyedele, on behalf of the governor in her office, acknowledged the present administration as being responsive and accommodating. Oba Latif Akoni, while praying for the government for a successful tenure, added that Prince Dapo Abiodun was the first governor to take interest in the plight of the people of Ikoga and government in general by providing the necessary solution to the dearth of good roads in the council area. Responding, the Deputy Governor, Engineer Noyimot Salako, has shown that the people of the constituency do not take things for granted and have given honor to whom it is due, saying she is proud to be a daughter of the Ogun West Senatorial District. Engineer Noyimot Salako Yedele informed that there has been a lot of concerned agitations due to the deplorable state of roads, in particular in Ado-Daughter axis, adding that this approval was government's way of delivering on the promise made to the people.
Very methodical, and he's a talk and do person. You know, if he's not able to do it yet, he will not promise it. And if he's going to do it in the future, that is exactly what he'll say to us. He had assured us in January of 2019, when he came to our local government, that those roads were a concern to him. We were all there that night. When he said, these roads, I will look into it, I will do my best for you. And I believed him then, and I still believe him now that he will do those things.
The delegation for finding time out to show their appreciation, saying it will encourage the government to do more, while charging them to be patient. She stressed that more infrastructure development that will bring more investors to the area is in view. Also speaking, Commissioner for Forestry, Honorable Tunji Akinyosi, also joined the delegation the governor for not just the Ikoga Road, but all other roads to be constructed across the state, noting that the approval came after careful scrutiny, thanking the deputy governor for the role she played in the whole process. Ogun State Ministry of Information and Strategy is to leverage on more partnership initiatives with the media and allied sectors to further propagate the various developmental projects and other activities of the state government to the people. Commissioner in the ministry, Alhaji Waheed Odushile, stated this while defending the ministry's 2021 budget estimate before members of the State House of Assembly, led by the State Chairman, Honorable House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Kunle Shobukola, at the Assembly's complex in Abeokuta. Ogun State Television, Ogun State Broadcasting Corporation, and Printing Corporation also made the presentations before the House. Matthew Shiomi completes the report.
Having received the budget from the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, it is now time for ministries, departments, and agencies to come forward to defend their proposed expenditure and programs for the year 2021 before the House. Presenting the budget proposal of the ministry for the next for Information and Strategy, Alhaji Waheed Odushile said a total of 600 million naira is the expenditure for next year, out of which over 500 million naira was set aside for recurrent expenditure, with 99.9 million naira earmarked for capital projects and 22.09 million naira expected as revenue for next fiscal year. Odushile outlined the plans to include better management of the state websites, establishment of state-owned newspaper and online newspapers, among others, towards mobilizing the entire citizenry for government policies and programs.
Websites is a technical thing, but the information you put there is what matters. The website can just be there if they don't have any relevant information there. It will, in fact, it won't be active. So we intend to reinvigorate the site such that whoever is coming in anywhere in the world, you want to know something about Ogun State, you just go there.
In a related development, the General Manager, Ogun State Television, Mr. Festus Kehinde, and Assistant General Manager, Program Services in the State Broadcasting Corporation, Ogtv, Shogbeson, presented the budget proposal of the broadcast outfits with assurances of improving on their program's production and contents towards projecting the state government's image. Mr. Kehinde revealed the plan to convert the old studio of Ogtv in in order to put it into good use.
Major things that we want to achieve in the next year is this our Ogtv thing. I mentioned it last time we were here that the one we are presently using was bought in 1992.
How much does it cost?
$255. Again, we mentioned the issue of fly-away kit. Fly-away kit is an accessory for Ogtv also. If we want to run 2 live in a day, with fly-away kit, we could do it.
For the year 2021, total expenditure is 866,135 naira.31 kobo. Out of this, the capital expenditure is 266,579,874.86.
Ogun State Printing Corporation promised to improve on the activities of the corporation in 2021 so as to serve the state better. Other agencies that defended their budgets include Bureau of ICT, State Signage and Advertising Agency, among others. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
In a related development, members of the Ogun State House of Assembly have examined the 2021 budget proposal of the State Ministry of Rural Development with a call for a fair and equitable distribution of rural projects, including roads, electrification projects, and water facilities across the 26 states constituencies. The lawmakers made the call while responding to the presentation of the Commissioner, Engineer Taiwo Oludotun, during a session presided over by Honorable Olakunle Shobukola at the Assembly Complex at Abeokuta. Correspondent Kola Waliosho covered the budget defense and his report is presented in this package.
Members, House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, chaired by Honorable Olakunle Shobukola, while scrutinizing 2021 budget proposal of the State Ministry of Rural Development, posited that all parts of the state needed to get a share of the projects. Hence, the need for the ministry to avail the Assembly with details of all proposed projects and their respective locations, stating that the effective implementation of the projects would improve on the socio-economic condition of the rural residents while addressing rural urban migration. They requested for further engagements on road rehabilitation, the need to energize some transformers, and electrification of some rural communities in the state.
It's really important that whatever approvals they are giving is put under the appropriate. Do not knock under other expenses or post figures that are not in adherence with the approvals you get at that point in time, failing which you will be sanctioned.
Responding, Engineer Oludotun, while presenting the ministry's budget size of 4.1 billion naira, out of which 4 billion naira was earmarked for capital projects, with the remaining 181.6 million naira was proposed. Disclosing that about 207 rural roads were being proposed for construction across the state. The commissioner intimidated the lawmakers that 2.17 billion naira was proposed for construction of rural roads, with 657.3 million naira earmarked for construction of water facilities, while 400 million naira was being voted for provision of electricity in the rural areas across the 3 senatorial districts.
The capital project that we intend to do, this covers the rural roads, and it also covers water with the rural dwellers, and it also includes provisions of mini-grid, that is off-grid electricity projects for the rural area. And for the rural road, what we have done is that we have about 207 roads that we actually want to work on 21.
In a related development, the 2021 budget proposal of the State Ministry of Culture and Tourism was examined with a task on the commissioner in charge of the ministry, Dr. Twin Taiwo, to engage necessary stakeholders, especially its education counterpart, to ensure that students are familiar with the various tourist centers in the state, while the teaching of culture and tradition should be encouraged at various levels of education. The lawmakers also challenged him to evolve more innovative measures towards ensuring the viability of the existing tourist sites and ensure the discovery of new ones with a view to preserving the rich cultural heritage of the state from going into extinction. They admonished the management of the ministry to improve on its research and planning capacity to avail residents of the state with more cultural and historical facts towards attracting more tourists to the various sites. Speaking on the 2021 budget, Dr. Taiwo assured of identifying potentials, disclosing that 716.1 million naira was proposed for capital projects, with 533.7 million naira to cater for recurrent expenses, while revenue target was put at 8.7 million naira. Similarly, Ministry of Youth and Sports, led by its Commissioner, Dr. Oluwadare Kehinde, defended budget proposal of 389.5 million naira, while 183 million naira was put down as capital expenditure. Other agencies that defended their budget estimates included Team Ogun, Gateway Football Club, Ogun State Sports Council, amongst others.
And still to come in the news, federal government of Nigeria hints there may be a fresh lockdown in first quarter of 2021. More news and reports after the break. Glad to know that you're still there. The news continues. Ogun State government is initiating a sustainable development plan that will make agriculture the mainstay of the state's economy through diverse programs aimed at creating employment and ensuring food security. Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adiola Odedino, while speaking with Ogtv News, maintained that the state is not ignoring partnership with the federal government and other key stakeholders to realize its goals in the sector. Lori Makonju has the details.
Agriculture remains one of Governor Dapo's programs fundamental to the state's economic development and individual prosperity. The government reiterated that it will continue to produce enough food to attain nutritional self-sufficiency for exports.
Currently the largest producer of cassava, of egg, and the highest hub for aquaculture is in Ogun State. We are housing the most extensive agric industry hub in this country. And this industry, they need raw materials, they need primary production, and our people also need job. Actually, and His Excellency is put in place as the agricultural governor of the year.
When the governor got his team together, we have a blueprint to use agriculture to drive industrialization, food security, nutrition. More is still going to come, because if you look at Ogtv, we plan to engage over 40,000 farmers.
One of such programs is the intervention and investment promotion with planting material palliative, fertilizer palliative, cassava revolution, CBN and Cobras program are some of the other schemes and platforms made available by government to boost its economy.
The cassava revolution came into light. They started working. Support to extension agents, motorcycles, and the directive to support every production and processing location in the state. The decision to work with private sector player, and then the rice opportunity, support to young people to be part of the rice business value chain.
Something that is still coming on board, that's the Ogtv. We are linking people. Every agricultural opportunity that's available in Nigeria, that is where we so to the extent that within this season alone, over 10,000 beneficiaries that we can name that have face, phone and everything. We are proud to say we've linked them to agricultural opportunity in Ogun State.
According to them, the state has the capacity, landmass and geographical location for food production with high value that can raise farm income. Shemilore.
One of the several strategies and initiatives of the Industrial Training Fund is bringing together its clients and stakeholders for interaction, networking, and to appreciate their contributions in the past years towards developing the nation's human resources. This year's 2020 Interactive Forum was physically and virtually held at the Industrial Training Fund, Abeokuta Area Office, Okemoson. Olajumoke Oladipupo has the details.
The physical and virtual forum, organized by the Industrial Training Fund, Abeokuta, took place at the Industrial Training Office Room, Okemoson, Abeokuta. The Industrial Training Fund over the years has equipped millions of Nigerians with skills for employability and entrepreneurships. The area manager and deputy director of the Industrial Training Fund, Mrs. Fumikoka, while giving a welcome address, emphasized the need for stakeholders to join hands in order to alleviate unemployment in the country.
Business owners to acquire new skills that were relevant to the prevailing circumstances. It's necessary to enhance the opportunities offered by the digital world to do business while observing the COVID-19 protocols.
Coping strategies in the new normal. The State Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Kikelo Molunge, among other dignitaries, buttressed on the need for the youth to show interest in skills acquisition.
But essentially the problem hasn't changed. It's just going to be an adaptation of how we deal with the problem going forward. Recent UN statistics show that we have 206 million Nigerians with a median age of 18 years. That means we have about 103 million Nigerians under the age of 18.
Of the current administration under His Excellency Prince Dr. Abiodun MFR, around what has been described as using the acronym ISHEYA, I for infrastructure, S for social welfare and well-being, E for education, Y for youth empowerment, and A for agriculture.
The only way to go nation is to go vocational, whether we like it or not. All over the world, there is no country that will succeed, there is no country that will strive without going vocational.
After a virtual paper presentation on a theme as it affects the unemployment scheme, the Industrial Training Fund Abeokuta presented award to the best training contribution for 2019 activities, best in human resources, and performance in CWES for 2019 in Ogun State. Olajumoke Oladipupo, Ogtv News.
Ogun State government says all is set for the enrollment of residents in the state in preparation for the Basic Health Care Provision Fund, which is January 2021. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Kuka, stated this during an inspection visit to primary health centers in Giwa North local government area, saying that the present administration was ready to serve the people and make good its promises of qualitative health care for children under 5, pregnant women and the aged from 65 and above, as well as other identified vulnerable in the state. Kuka noted that government was working assiduously to make ready 236 primary health centers where services will be delivered to residents, emphasizing that the Prince Dr. Abiodun-led administration had made huge investments in the health sector, being of all in the state, as entrenched in the budget of recovery and sustainability recently presented to the House of Assembly by the governor. She added that the implementation of the Basic Health Care Provision Fund was aimed at increasing fiscal space for health, strengthening of the state health system, especially at the primary health care levels, and ensuring access to care for all, particularly the vulnerable, calling on people to register when their enrollment begins so as to enjoy all the health care services provided across the state. She noted that the state will be using the list that had been compiled by the federal government to identify those that were considered vulnerable, revealing that those in the informal sector, such as the market women and workers, would then be enrolled in due course. Putting God first and serving Him wholeheartedly are the to save Nigeria from our current challenges. Reverend Funsho Taiwo stated this during the 25th anniversary Thanksgiving service and investiture of the Bible Society of Nigeria Egba area held at the auditorium of Christ African Church Cathedral, Igbore, Abeokuta. Bengadekoya's report is presented in this package.
It's 25 years with the responsibility of spreading the word of God by translating the scripture into all local dialects in Nigeria. The Bible Society of Nigeria Egba area has continued to wax stronger in the discharge of its duties, and this brought about the celebration of the 25th anniversary Thanksgiving of its existence. In his welcome address, the Chairman Bible Society of Nigeria Egba area, Pastor Akinpelumi Ojo, appealed to all and sundry to join hands in propagating the gospel.
Pastor Billy Ademi are among the foremost leaders the ship of the auxiliary, working tirelessly to keep the auxiliary afloat. It is noteworthy that Abeokuta Auxiliary was the first to be created in Nigeria in 1859, before the establishment of the BSN in 1966. The auxiliary later metamorphosed into Egba area in July 1995.
Reverend Dr. Olubomi Bawo, the National President and Board Chairman, Bible Society of Nigeria, said Nigerian culture is already preserved if the Holy Bible is translated into all the local dialects.
We have been foremost in almost everything on good in Nigeria, in the world. We have always been first.
The anniversary also witnessed a message from the pulpit.
We never regard God in our thinking. Even the nation Nigeria, we don't regard Him. There was a time we were shouting, there are some particular set of people that can save us when we leave the Savior Jesus and He was looking at us.
The Silver Jubilee anniversary was rounded off with the investiture of the new ambassadors and presentation of awards of recognition to some personalities who have distinguished themselves in propagating the word of God. Kayode Damilola was the first runner-up of the National Bible Quiz competition, as Samuel Afwakwe came third while representing Ogun State at the national level.
Becoming economically self-reliant, provision of shelter and food for children with special needs, among other poverty alleviation programs, have been highlighted as some of the obligations of Nigerian youth in developing the nation. Stating this was the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, Princess Adejoke Orelope Adefulere, during an orientation lecture for core members at the Permanent Orientation Camp, Shagamu. Our reporter, Ifesholo Ade, has the details.
The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, were adopted in 2015 by the United Nations under the banner 17 Goals to Transform Our World. These ambitious goals aim to end poverty, fight inequality and injustice, as well as tackle climate change by 2030, with the full participation of private investors and stakeholders in the Poverty Eradication Intervention Scheme. This necessitated a visit of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Princess Adejoke Orelope Adefulere, to Ogun State as part of efforts to advocate for core members' support with the Sustainable Development Goals of the present administration in a bid to alleviate the sufferings of the poor masses within the localities they would be posted to.
They are in the leadership position now, and they must be able to contribute their quota to the development of Nigeria. And with that, they don't need to have a title to be a councillor or be a lawyer. Individually, they can take responsibility, not to spend their money, but they can echo it to us, share information with us, and then we can take action. Because we can't be everywhere anyway. So by the time they are posted out, they cover every part of the country, and they'll be able to see some things that needed to be done, and they will get back to us.
She laid emphasis on the need to propagate within their respective places of primary assignment disturbing issues such as illiteracy, domestic violence, and child abuse.
I believe that by the time they were assigned to their primary, their different location for their primary assignment, they'll be able to see one or two things that needed to be done, and they can revert back to us to say, oh, these children need to have school. There's no primary health care center here. There's no good water and all of that.
Ogun State NYSC coordinator Dr. Belinda Faniyi assured the delegates of the corps members' positive response to the developmental vision which the state has always been known for.
They've even given some indigent students scholarship to further their education. So it's not a new thing to the corps members. I believe they will do very well with the SDG program. I'm happy, they are all excited, and you can see them, they are ready to go into their host communities to contribute their quota.
Some of the corps members shared how impactful the lecture has been.
You don't have any cost for you to live on this earth except for you being able to impact people's lives, being able to pass on or being able to help people in your own little way.
Because I discovered that she has been doing all our possible statistics and for more indications to ensure that development goals are really implemented.
The SSA and our entourage were treated to a cultural music and dance presentation by the State NYSC Dance Troupe.
The news continues. The government has said that it will ensure that no outbreak of polio is recorded in communities across the state, especially in border towns, as it begins the December round of outbreak response exercise in Yewa North and Imekwa for local government areas. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tumikuka, who stated this during the monitoring exercise to Oja Odon town in the Yewa North local government area of the state, added that the present administration was committed to sustain the eradication of the wild polio virus and the interruption of circulating the vaccine in the border towns and the state at large.
We're trying to ensure that we make sure that the children do not have an outbreak of polio, so we're just doing a mop-up exercise in that area. So we've gone to the market to immunize children between the ages of 0 and 59 months, ensuring that there is no circulating polio in the community.
Executive Secretary, Primary Healthcare Development Board, Dr. Elijah Ogunshola, exercise, which started on Saturday 12th, will end on Tuesday 15th December 2020 with oral polio vaccine administered to children of 0 to 59 months in the affected local government areas. He urged parents and caregivers to inform others who are yet to get their children and wards immunized to do so. He added that transit teams would move from house to house while others would be at designated fixed posts such as marketplaces, schools and religious houses, and join the state in its efforts to ensure the well-being of children by bringing them out for vaccination. Giving the homeless children and the aged a sense of belonging, particularly through provision of food and shelter, will no doubt help the society to grow. The Special Advisor to Ogun State Governor on Media and Public Communication, Honorable Remi Azan, stated this during a special celebration for the children and aged at Gideon Orphanage Home, Ashiru, Abeokuta.
Gideon Orphanage Home, an home for the aged, is a non-governmental orphanage home with the vision of helping the aged, orphans and abandoned children through rehabilitation, reformation and reintegration. This turnout at the Gideon Orphanage Home is a very special moment for everyone, as people took turn to appreciate God despite the COVID-19 pandemic ravaging all sectors of the economy in the world. The founder of the home, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Banjo, used the medium to empower more than 30 aged women. The organization as a way of keeping them focused and determined
for societal development.
I regret ìpamọ́ wọn rárá. Wọ́n dá ẹni tí ò níṣẹ́, wọ́n dá lókòwò. Ojoojúmọ́ wọ́n fún wa lówó, wọ́n fún wa lóúnjẹ, wọ́n fún wa lóhun gbogbo, wọ́n dára sí wa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀.
The special advisor to the State Governor on Media and Public Communications, Honorable Remi Azan, among other dignitaries, lauded the vision of the founder.
Of course, she's doing the right thing. Don't forget that this organization is well over a decade old. Once a man has the spirit of giving more than he gets, he has given for himself a path to a happy life.
I want to thank God for her. I want to thank God for the grace and the art with which she's doing it. And I don't have any doubt that God is going to reward her.
In the last 11 years, she has been able to do this and putting smiles into faces of the aged and even the children. I think something that worth emulating.
While speaking to Ogtv News, Mrs. Oluwatoyinbanjo said, helping people gives her joy.
I want to empower them so that they won't just keep coming to say, Toyin, I need this, I need that. I believe if I'm able to empower them to start selling 1 or 2 or 3 things, they're able to provide for themselves and their families.
The orphanage home also distributed food items and clothing to the aged towards making them feel the real essence of Christmas season. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Contact has been made with those who adopted the students of Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, Katsina State. Governor Aminu Bello Masari, who disclosed this while speaking with newsmen after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, said the location of the missing students has also been identified. The Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari was accompanied to the Daura residence of the President by the Deputy Governor Emmanuel Yakubu. He formally briefed President Muhammadu Buhari on the attack on the Science Secondary School Kankara, the adoption of the students, the rescue effort following the massive deployment of security agencies to the area. The governor's engagement with the president is coming a day after the top echelon of the nation's security apparatus, led by Defense Minister Bashiru Magashi, who visited the community on a sympathy and strategic mission ordered by the president. Governor Masari spoke with newsmen after the meeting with the president that lasted more than 1 hour that progress has been made in efforts at rescuing and reuniting the adopted students with their families.
Having positive responses, there was a contact from the kidnappers to the parents of one of the pupils, and we have also made some contact with some of them, and we have a fair idea of the locations where the children are, and I think the military and the other security agencies are right now in the forest to make sure that they are rescued unharmed. So I think there's positive development so far. We've been following up. I had to come and brief him the progress so far, as said this morning. We learned from his long years of experience as a military officer, as a president, and also we have learned from his suggestions as what to do and how to go about.
The governor once again pleaded with the parents of the students to remain calm, law-abiding and supportive, as government is committed to bringing back their children hale and hearty. A 13-member Monitoring and Stabilization Technical Committee on Petrol Price Framework has been inaugurated in Abuja. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, who had inaugurated members, says the committee is to enthrone transparency in the task given to them, as a report of the committee is to be submitted on the 25th of January 2021.
Government has taken a back seat. Government has not fixed the price that took off from today. It was a price reduction gotten from the commercials, like demurrage, transshipment, and even storage. And this committee will be expected to do more to ensure transparency.
I hope at the end
our contributions will help lighten the load on all the parties that are involved in making this heavyweight decision for the country.
Members of the technical committee include federal government representatives, the organized labor, and other stakeholders of the petroleum industry. The federal government said it has concluded arrangements to embark on design and construction of captive hybrid power plants across a total of 15 universities and 2 teaching hospitals in the country. The managing director of Rural Electrification Agency, Ahmad Salijo Ahmad, who disclosed this while speaking at the commissioning of the solar hybrid power project at the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State, said the program will be executed under the Nigeria Electrification Project. Ahmad revealed that the Rural Electrification Agency has secured funding from the World Bank and African Development Bank towards the implementation of projects tagged Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Energizing Education Program, respectively. 4,000 Special Public Works SPW jobs will now commence on. The federal government has said. Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, briefed journalists on Sunday in Abuja. The program, designed for artisans to do public works for 3 months for 20,000 naira per month, suffered setbacks because of internal strife between the minister and a former director general of the National Directorate of Employment, Nasir Ladan, who was sacked last week by President Muhammadu Buhari. The hiccups may be connected with the struggle for the control of the program by the sacked director at loggerhead with Keyamo over the implementation of the program. The sacked Laden, it was gathered, worked with the National Assembly to undermine Keyamo, who is the supervising minister, following the fallout between the minister and the lawmakers. Both the government officials could not bring themselves to work together on the program as Laden continuously flouted the directives of the minister while welcoming the National Assembly members. Twice, the federal government announced a new date for the kickoff of the program designed to employ 774,000 Nigerians in the 774 local government areas. Despite the release of 26 billion naira as stated by Laden and procurement of equipment, the program has not commenced till date. Keyamo said that the work would officially commence in January 2021 and that an official announcement will be made on Wednesday after the end of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting. On business news, Central Bank of Nigeria approves new license categorizations for Nigerian payment system. These are some business news shortly. Now business news. Chairman, Nigeria Governors Forum, NGF, Governor Kayode Fayemi, on Monday expressed the resolve of the subnational governments towards deepening the drive for improved domestic revenues through effective, efficient, fair and legal tax administration. Fayemi, who gave the assurance at the opening of the 6th Internally Generated Revenue IJR National Peer Learning event held in Abuja, reiterated the need to leverage on relevant technology which presents a platform to strengthen taxpayer databases, collaborate, share data, intelligence and information, and embrace advanced taxpayer profiling techniques approach to taxpayer payment management. He, however, noted that the 2020 half-year-on-year IGR performance reported a negative growth of 11.7% for the 36 states and the FCT. Fayemi said the year has presented governors with a perfect storm of difficulties to deal with, from a health pandemic to the second economic recession in 5 years. At the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the forum worked with the federal government, international partners, and sectors to deliver the necessary response needed to contain the virus and ease out its impact on the lives of the citizens. This includes the setup of intervention funds, rollout of social investment programs, distribution of palliatives, initiating of tax incentive programs to protect and support livelihoods and businesses. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mr. Niyi Adebayo, federal government has suspended further issuance of licenses for the operation of the free trade zones in the country. Speaking during the inauguration of the panel set up for the evaluation of the performance of free trade zones, he said all applications for the zones licenses will henceforth not be processed pending the completion of the assignment. He said it is important to know that free developed countries have contributed successfully towards their industrialization process. The model was adopted by the Asian tigers, and two including African countries, are beginning to key into the idea. Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, has begun delivery of world-class free trade zones across the country. However, due to poor implementation, government is here to take delivery of the dynamic potentials of free trade zones as an instrument for economic growth. Adebayo further currently licensed free trade zones operators in the country, adding that due to poor implementation, only 12 are operational. He said the key objective of the panel, headed by himself, was to provide a set of recommendations to inform government strategy on free trade zones based on a thorough evaluation of the current operations of the zones. That was the business segment of the news. Now foreign news. United States launches largest vaccination campaign in country's history. Join us for some foreign news shortly.